Welcome back. You're watching the American Workplace Bully 4-1. This chapter will address why, despite having all of this damning evidence on management, why didn't I just take it to HR? Which is a good and valid question. It's because HR Lisa was derelict in their duties and completely aloof to a previously written complaint about Lorena. In addition, Lisa was seemingly disinterested in subsequent evidence. Now, being these are serious charges, it is incumbent upon me to provide you evidence. Well, that should be easy enough. However, because we have a lot of material and not enough of your time to go through everything, I'm going to be omitting certain portions that are either redundant or unrelated. Plus, I'll be jumping back and forth between events mostly surrounding the two write-ups I received on December 12, 2013 and May 5, 2014 respectively. And as always, you can remain confident there are no unfair edits or material taken out of context. In addition, the full audio will be released at a later date, of which I encourage you to listen to because there's a lot of good material that ended up on the cutting room floor. Alright, let's start from the beginning. There was a lot of friction between Lorena and myself in late 2013, so I took this to Kathy in a written complaint on November 15, 2013, to which Kathy felt it necessary to take to HR Lisa because Kathy, Lorena, and I had a prior meeting that didn't really resolve any issues. I wasn't trying to get Lorena in trouble, and originally wanted to handle this within the department. Feel free to rewind and read the content of this memo if you wish. The bullet points are really the key items, as it will also serve as a checklist of what was proven in this series thus far. So here's what I wrote in my complaint on November 15, 2013. Micromanaging projects at the last minute. I would say that's a definite yes, citing the whole check with the assignment desk issue that came out of nowhere. Endless badgering. Check. Not only have we heard Lorena badger, she also lied about the answer she got. Persistence in condescending remarks. I'll leave that open for now, but it will be addressed later in this chapter. Forces her ideas onto production. Check. Wanting me to use full anger read on topicals despite the mixed format we've been using for 6 months, which came as a surprise to Lorena. Acts as an obstructor when trying to solve problems. This too will remain open, and will be addressed later in this chapter. Distorts information to supervisor. I'd say that's a definite yes. It actually should have been willfully distorts, but hindsight is 20/20. Grandiose ideas and unrealistic expectations. This is related to the Smarter Than Your Smartphone project, which will also be addressed later in this chapter, but we'll leave it open for now. So throughout the series, we've proven 4 out of the 7 issues I've had with Lorena, and by the end of chapter 4, we'll be at a full 7 out of 7. And bear in mind, these complaints came months before the recorded evidence, which means I had accurately described Lorena's character before knowing she was a practiced liar. Being that HR Lisa said she was going to investigate, you'd figure at least one of the complaints would have turned up. But after stating she conducted a thorough investigation, you'll see, Lisa could not find anything remotely connected to Lorena's behavior. As a matter of fact, Lorena came out of this investigation looking like a saint. And I ended up getting this lovely keepsake in my permanent record with the company. Yes, I was written up for insubordination and basically wasting company time. I apologize for this in advance, but it's necessary to go through most of the first write-up paragraph by paragraph. As you know, Kathy met with you and Lorena together on Wednesday, November 13th. Kathy informed you that the comment you had previously made to Lorena on November 1st that she was wasting your time was not appropriate or acceptable behavior. Based on both of your comments during that meeting, Kathy believed the working relationship between you and Lorena had improved and was moving in the right direction. Alright, this falls under micromanaging projects at the last minute, forcing her ideas onto production and endless badgering. On the previous day, Austin endured the Halloween floods, so I was tasked to produce a POP or proof of performance spot that highlights how Fox 7 Austin was on the ball with flood coverage. So I immediately went to scrub through hours of footage and find promotable elements. Being that the creative department's method of gathering footage is very slow and time-consuming to transfer, it took a better half of the day, which included a system crash in the middle of transferring the video files, which left me with less than 2 hours to get the POP finalized and approved for air. Based on my experience and professionalism, I already had an idea of where I wanted to go with the spot, and all I would have to do is simply assemble video clips into the right order. I was nearly finished with the POP with about 30 to 45 minutes to spare before the end of my shift, and plenty of time before the deadline. Lorena had walked into the edit bay, requested to see what I have, and then promptly ordered changes to be made. Now, a manager wanting to make changes isn't exactly out of the ordinary. However, that is usually taken care of before the edit starts, and is usually not with superficial changes, which Lorena was ordering. And just like Lorena's endless badgering illustrated in 3-1, she persisted in asking me the same question over and over again. Are you telling me you don't want to make the changes? Being that I was under a tremendous amount of stress to make the deadline, not to mention catching the train before the metro service ended for the day, I verbally lashed out at Lorena saying, "You're wasting my time." So I foolishly gave Lorena the ammo she needed as she immediately went to report this to Kathy. Whether or not this event was contrived by Lorena, I cannot say. but what it does illustrate is a pattern of behavior, of which was accurately identified in my written complaint and later proven with subsequent evidence. Next 2 paragraphs. On Friday, November 15th, you submitted a written complaint against Lena to Kathy and claimed that Lena's conduct is unacceptable and that you consider her behavior to be borderline harassment. This station is committed to a professional workplace. Oh, really? And does not tolerate any workplace harassment. Therefore, we immediately launched an investigation of your claims. You were informed in our discussion with you on Monday, November 18th, that Lena had expressed concerns to Kathy prior to receiving your November 15th complaint that your conduct has often been insubordinate and that your behavior has at times been harassing, making her uncomfortable. Gee, that sounds familiar. We discussed that both of your claims would be addressed in the investigation. Thanks to my gift of ADD, I had actually forgotten Lena made a harassment claim against me. It wasn't until I compiled the evidence together that I noticed the pattern of convenient timing of making scurrilous accusations against me every time Lena would be under scrutiny herself. The next paragraph goes over department staff who were experiencing the same issues and my refusal to rat them out by not giving names. On to the next paragraph. After a thorough investigation, your allegation of Lena's conduct being unacceptable or borderline harassment was not substantiated by anyone in the department. The investigation did reveal that Lena does make changes to others' work in the department, but that they expect her to do so in her role as promotion manager. They also explain they are able to discuss changes with Lena professionally and in an even-tempered manner. Multiple individuals commented that they explained this to you after you approached them about their working relationship with Lena. Additionally, her behavior was described as professional and fair. It was stated that she makes suggestions, listens, and works collaboratively. Thorough investigation, yielding nothing. Not a single shred of evidence to point to what you've already heard as being absolutely true. How is this possible? For that, we'll go to the second write-up meeting on May 5th, 2014. And it's best to warn you now, I was extremely angry in this meeting. For obvious reasons, I was defending my honor.
We talked to numerous people for lengthy amounts of time.
Yes.
During that investigation. And we discussed with you that we had done that. Lisa and I discussed with you that everyone in the department...
So you're part of those meetings?
Yeah.
Okay. You're a part of those meetings with undue influence on the meetings. Of course they're going to clam up. Okay.
But bringing it back, we determined after that investigation that your behavior was insubordinate. And that's the information that we provided to you in the memo, remember? And in it expressed that you would be required to follow the direction of your managers.
I've done so.
This is now another performance memo that Kathy wanted to give to you about
I have done
job
so.
Performance details that she feels require some improvement.
Okay, so you've heard Kathy admit to being allowed to sit in on meetings with HR Lisa and department coworkers, and during an investigation of Kathy's own hand-picked promotions manager. If this were a criminal trial, a defense attorney would decry this as being a kangaroo court. But really, I'm confused by Kathy's accidental admission. Let's go back 5 months to the first write-up meeting on December 12th, 2013.
So what is this considered? Just
This is an opportunity for us to address and improve the problems that have arisen. And it's an opportunity for you to take steps toward making those improvements.
Okay. Do you feel I have since our last meeting on this?
I haven't had not any time. I haven't been. I don't have an answer for that question. I have not been in discussions with anybody about anything since those meetings. I'm speaking of the meeting that we had with you on when the investigation started. I have not discussed this situation with anybody. I have not been privy to observe yours and Lorena's interaction. I have, I don't have an answer to that question.
Are you confused by these contradictions as well? Well, let's see if HR Lisa has better luck at being consistent.
We addressed the issues because I know I was part of that conversation several months back in my office.
And I recall you at the first meeting saying that the way I was conducting myself, you thought of me as arrogant, and then you denied it the second meeting during the write-up.
I have a right to assess when I'm meeting with someone.
You haven't even talked to anybody. So
From personal observation. This was personal
you
observation.
made your assessment, and it tainted the investigation.
Philip, we talked to lots of people in the course of that investigation.
And back to December 2013.
My other concern, though, is before we left last time, you gave me your opinion of my conduct, and you said I was. You thought it was basically full of myself. Is that correct?
I don't think that Lisa said that.
Not to watch in the words. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's basically. You thought I was the one that was arrogant when I was bringing up the other arrogant position of Lena. No.
I'm sorry, I don't recall exactly what you're talking about.
Well, basically, you had an opinion. You formulated an opinion already by the time we left.
No.
No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you're referring to.
All right.
I didn't have any preconceived opinions, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying
Well,
to articulate that. I just want to make sure that.
No, I mean, we clearly let you know that that's why we wanted to do an investigation into your concerns. We wanted to be sure that there wasn't anything that we needed to correct in terms of your supervision that were leading to issues. If we had a preconceived version, we wouldn't have gone through this process, which was a
pretty thorough, time-consuming process.
And that's why this is in place at the company, so that we get truthful information. It's not helpful for us to act on, untruthful information and let problems continue. So, yes, don't be concerned that was the case, because that certainly was not.
Nope. I guess we're not going to get consistency out of HR Lisa either. The simple truth is, HR Lisa's judgment wasn't based on fact. It was based on what other people were saying while their boss was looming in the room. But Lisa was correct in saying it's not helpful to act on untruthful information and let problems continue. That's a great company policy. Yet, I was the one who was fired, despite providing Fox 100 pages of documented evidence, which was enough to exonerate me. And given HR Lisa's lack of interest in the truthful evidence, I had every reason to believe she would twist my recordings of management into a terminatable offense. By the way, for those who don't know, Texas has a one-consent law, meaning it's legal to record conversations as long as you're present. So if you're thinking of recording your bad bosses in another state, it's best to check with the state laws first. And that's it for 4-1. Take a break and please continue with the American Workplace Bully 4-2. We'll go over more of the write-ups, HR Lisa's dereliction, and complete aloofness to the real issues. I'll close out with the rest of Write-Up 1. It's mostly redundant and boilerplate corporate nonsense, but feel free to read it. Thank you for watching.